Alright, Mer-Man here. I just took apart a Pentair FNS Plus 60 square foot filter. I have 7 large grids, 1 small grid or partial grid. Here's my manifold, and here's my my cheat sheet template here. What I did notice when I took apart this filter, I had a crack in the manifold. We always flip these over and check. Looks like we got, if debris gets through here, it's going to go into the pool. So you could fix this with silicone, let that set up, and then put it back together, or you could just buy a new one, about $100 or so. Why do they crack? Usually if you don't backwash for a while, it puts a lot of pressure on the grid assembly, and this is only plastic, and it probably just cracked. All right. So how do I put this back together? It's kind of tricky. Make sure you find something flat, a flat surface to put this on, because if you don't, you start over here and it just falls over. So what I do is I look for the small grid first. They actually help you out here. It says small grid, and there's a little circle area. So when I look at a grid, I notice that this circle is about the same size as that. So I'm going to put the small grid. How could you tell? Well, it is a lot smaller in width, same height. So you can find one of those. And I'm going to line up that tube, this white tube, all the way down to the bottom there. I'm going to put that right into that spot, and I'll wiggle that right over that circle where it said small grid. And then I'm going to take a large grid, and I'm going to find that next one here, that circle. I'm going to put that into there. And you also start noticing that this black spot here, it's about 1 inch off of there. The grid comes about 1 inch off. So the next one here, this grid should land right at the edge of this black. So it's kind of outlining it for you. I'll put this one on that circle. And if it doesn't go in smoothly, it's probably not in the right spot. Now if I keep going, I only have one hand here. So I'm going to start on the other side. Same concept. I see a circle, and I'm going to put the circle right in there, over there. Alright, that's sticking out over there a little bit. Another one. I see a circle right here. Put that right down. See that? Sticks out a little bit there. Slide that one in, that little circle there. You see that circle? I'm lining up that tube. I'm on the right spot there. Alright, that one's a little tricky. I have 2 more circles there. I have 2 more grids left. I'll put that right on there. And 1 more on that circle. Okay. This one's giving me a hard time. Just have to push that down. Into there. You want them all to be flush. If you look flush. If one's higher than the other, then the manifold just doesn't go on right. So you have this cheat sheet guide. All this does is just help you keep them in place to put the manifold on. If you're not on a flat surface, it does help. And I just kind of move all these into the... Now if this doesn't line up, then you probably don't have it in the right spot. You might have to reset it. Alright. They're all in place, and then the manifold goes on top, and you want the manifold, this black 2-inch tube area, that should go line up with this opening here where the small grid was. There's like a little W here. It goes all the way up, and that's where the manifold pipe attaches. So this has to make sure that this pipe is going down towards that opening. And look how I have it. It's lining up the way I should. put those bolts on. They're going right through. Looks like everything's lining up. And what I do is just press down with this hand and then wiggle each of them into their slot, starting all the way around. I could try to do it with one hand here. There goes that one. That one. Try this one. That's down. That one. That one's tricky. This one's off, and they're all done. They're all down. Make sure they're all down. Push down. Last thing you do is just put your wing nuts on. If you lose these, usually drop them. They're stainless steel. I don't know what size they are, but you go to the hardware store. Make sure they're stainless or just get destroyed and rust out. Just spin those on. Make sure that these are tight. I've had a lot of calls where this pops up when the filter starts and all the DE gets in the pool, and they think that there's something majorly wrong. It just wasn't tight because these come up. So make sure that it's all pushed down, and that's how you assemble a grid assembly.